So if you want to avoid permanent disability for the rest of your life, then you'll want to avoid doing this during your birth. Hi everyone, Lynn Schulte here with the Institute for Birth Healing, and I wanted to show you something that is a possibility during the birth process that I really would love to avoid ever happening again to another mama, and that is symphysis pubis dysfunction, actually disruption. That's where the symphysis pubis the ligaments and the ligaments that are holding this joint together here, this is your symphysis pubis, actually tear and disrupt this joint, and it has no more stability. 30% of our weight-bearing forces come through this joint here as we stand, and those ligaments help hold these bones together so that we have stability in our pelvis. During labor and during other tragic, impact injuries, that can tear and get disrupted, and then we have complete instability of this joint, and it creates a lot of pain and a lot of dysfunction. And mamas who have this issue have a hard time standing on one leg. They have a hard time getting in and out of bed, into a car, out of a car, in and out of a bathtub, getting dressed. They can't stand on one leg, and they don't have any stability here. And I want to show you, I'm going to screen share a video or an x-ray that of a mama that I worked with. This is when she is standing on her right leg. She is standing on this right leg, and then the left leg. Do you see how there's this big discrepancy here, and this whole left side lifts up? There's no stability here happening. And then this is what happens when her left side, she stands on her left side. It doesn't happen as much, it doesn't raise up as much, but you can see the gap here. That's not supposed to, it's supposed to be less than half of that. I forget what she was when she originally, this is 11 months after the birth of her son. And she had, I believe it was a 5 centimeter or millimeter. I know that's a huge difference, but it was a huge gap when she was first, after he was born. And it's come down to this now. This is 11 months after, and this is after we did some work together and got her pelvis out of the birthing pattern and made sure that there was more ease in her pelvis. She has no pain, but she has no stability or function in there. So she's looking at having surgery to correct this. And it's not something pleasant. Now, what happened to her during her birth is that she was on her back and she had her legs bent up and she had people holding her legs, and she was fighting them and pushing out with her legs as they were resisting her. And that's how her baby was born. And I feel that if, that's the last thing we want to do. Obviously, that created this situation for her. And so we want to avoid ever resisting the pushing of the legs and having someone resist that and keeping you in that bent up position. If that's what's happening when you're laboring, stop, get into another position, but don't push your legs against someone's resistance. That is what can cause this issue of the symphysis pubis getting disrupted. So I'm sure there's other issues, other causes that can cause it to separate, but pushing and resisting someone holding your legs in that position is going to be a big chance for you separating your symphysis pubis. And it's not a fun condition. We don't want this to happen. We want to avoid it. So find a different position. My favorite position for laboring is on hands and knees or kneeling. Those positions, your pelvis, you're using in kneeling, you're using gravity to help get the baby out. Your pelvis is more stable. It's even. We've got pressure even in there. Same thing, hands and knees. The pressure's even. The pelvis is more stable in that position. The sacrum is able to lift up like it needs to get that baby out. If we're on our back and the sacrum, we have pressure on the sacrum needs to lift backwards to allow the baby out. And if it can't because we're laying on it, then this needs to lift up. And if this can't lift up, then that's what causes the problems here. So getting off your tailbone is a really good thing too. So again, let's avoid this. Let's stop. Let's don't resist legs being on our back. Let's try different birthing positions so that we can avoid women having these issues of separation of their symphysis pubis joint. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.